Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, empowering women in business through thought-provoking interviews and insights. Embrace your authentic power, explore the impact of your story, and discover how writing your best-selling book can amplify your message, authority, and the 3 I's: impact, influence, and income. Let each episode guide you towards brilliance in minutes. This is your host, Seema Giri. Our next speaker is Lynne Roe. Get another amazing insights and understanding of running our business. Welcome, Lynne. So happy to see you today.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I've been so excited to speak with you. Let's start with Lynne. What is your story? How did you get started in your business, and how did you get to this point that you are in your business?
So I started my business about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, something like that. And shortly after I had started the business, I got a call from my daughter who was away at college, and she had fallen down the stairs and she had a severe concussion
Oh,
and asked me to come and pick her up. And of course, I love my daughter, so I went to pick her up. And the doctors at the time said that she would recover in about 2 weeks to two months. But she didn't recover right away. And so I'm working on my business and trying to care for her. And then after 2 months, the doctors said, well, it could be up to 2 years. In the meantime, my daughter was tripping, falling, bumping into walls. She wasn't able to really walk without assistance.
mm,
And she wasn't eating either because severe migraines made it so she couldn't keep anything down. So I'm watching my daughter waste away and still attempting to grow my business. And then the doctors started to say after 2 years, they said, well, this may be permanent. And that made me realize that I really had to figure out how to run a business, grow a business, when I also had these personal challenges that I had to deal with for my caring for my daughter. And I had spent years in marketing, doing market research in corporate America and also not for profits. And I had done a lot of strategic planning. And I thought, let me pull that strategic planning experience and apply it to my business. So I developed a process for strategically planning for growing a business and still having time for your life. And as I worked through it, my clients started to hear about what was going on and how I was doing it. And they became intrigued, saying, how can I do that too? How can I grow my business and still have time for my life? And so I developed this process. And now I do this as the starting point with all of my clients.
mm.
Fast forward, my daughter did recover. After about 8 years, we started to see her personality come back. And after 10 years, she finally went back to college as a 28-year-old freshman. And she actually graduates this year, which is really exciting for us because it's been a very long journey for her to get her to graduate from college, but we're excited about that. But in the meantime, I developed this process and I went through the process with my clients. And now that is the starting point with that I do with all the clients is create a strategic plan for growing the business and still living the lifestyle that you want and need to be living. That's how I
Well,
got to where I am now.
Lynn, that's an amazing story. And, at that point, many of us, excuse me, at that point when you got the news about your daughter and how she was progressing in her healing, I think many of us would have probably just quit our jobs and business and just focused on that. But kudos to you on finding a way to make both things work and not having to give up anything that you had already started to build. And I find that's really, really commendable because
Thanks. Yeah.
it's not easy, right? I think
No.
for me, running a business, starting a business, and having a business is just like having another child. You need to nurture it and care for it, in, if not more than your human child.
Yes,
And that
that's
can take a
true.
toll on you.
It really can. It really can.
So, how did you manage about taking care of yourself during that period?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm sure that there were times I didn't take care of myself, but really taking care of my business was a piece of taking care of me because I know that, and I'm sure we all know, right, that being healthy is critical for growing a business. So the business I have is as a business coach. So I'm helping other clients grow their businesses. And it really starts with realizing what your responsibility is as the business owner. As a business owner, you have to lead the business, and that means you have to have clear direction and a comprehensive strategy for growing. Then you have to lead your team with smooth communications to have clear roles and responsibilities. And finally, you have to lead yourself by thinking like a CEO and taking care of yourself and what you're doing and paying attention to what you're doing so you're not doing everything yourself.
That's really good advice. I find that many women that I've spoken with when they've started their business, they think that, okay, when my business grows, then I'm going to start thinking like a CEO. But at this point, I can be however I want to be. When is the point to start thinking like a CEO when you're in running your business?
It's so true. Entrepreneurs, we hustle, we work hard, we hustle some more, we work so hard some more. And what happens? We end up being overworked, missing family events, not taking vacations, right? Um, I don't want that for my clients. I want my clients to feel that they've got a successful business, that they've grown it to where they want it to be, and they still can have dinner with their family several nights a week and take a nice vacation.
Mm.
So, it's a matter of starting early to think differently, that you don't have to wear every single hat. It's interesting. Often somebody will come to me, they've spent a whole lot of time, they've built a course, let's say, for example, built a course, and now they want to put it out in the world, but they didn't do the things they had to do first, which were build a following of people who might actually take the course and learn how to market the course or those kinds of things. And because they put things in the wrong order, now by the time they get those things in order, their course is now out of date.
Mm.
So having that strategy, building the strategy, knowing what to do first, what to do next, and what to do after that really is critical. And that's part of the strategic planning of growing your business, is putting things in the right order so that you're ready.
That is so important. In project management, I teach about sequence of activities, and that's exactly what you're talking about. If
Yeah.
you don't have, excuse me, if you don't have the right sequence of activities, you're not going to get the result that you want. It's kind of like when you say that, I'm thinking of that saying that they say, putting the cart before the horse.
Yes,
You
exactly.
don't want to do that.
Exactly.
So, when you're working with your clients, what area do you find most resistance in when they are, starting to think differently, starting to think like a CEO?
Yeah. People are very resistant to hire someone to take some of the work off of their plates because I can do it better. I know how to do it. What will they even do anyway? Um, I don't have the time to teach them how to do it. All of those things come up. And right now, I don't have enough money to make sure I'm not certain I'm going to have enough money to continue to pay these people. So that's, I think, the biggest plateau that people reach is they're doing everything. They don't have time to teach somebody new, bring in somebody new, hire the right person. And so they can't move on from where they are because there's
Hmm.
just only so much of you to go around, right? So it's really a matter of deciding, okay, I need to hire somebody, and now figuring out how you're going to delegate. And the first thing to start doing is saying to yourself, okay, this is something that needs to get done. Instead of how am I going to find time to do that? It has to be, who can I find to do that?
Mm.
That's the first kind of thought. Okay, who can I find to do that thing? And then putting in place, very often, we're doing lots of little things that we shouldn't be doing. They're $20 an hour jobs, right? And as business owners, if you're answering every email and answering the phones and cleaning the office and all those things that you could hire somebody else $20 an hour to do. Well, if you took those 10 hours a week, let's say that you were doing the $20 an hour jobs and gave that to someone else, and then you took those 10 hours and focused on selling new products and providing new clients, what your services, you would have a much bigger business all right there. Just because you stop doing those few things, it
Yes.
really makes a big difference.
I totally, excuse me, I totally agree with you, Lynn. But how do you help those entrepreneurs who've tried that, didn't get the result that they wanted? You have to sometimes, I find, try several different people until you find that right person.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say is everyone thinks, oh, a couple things happen. People say, I just need a warm body. And so they hire anybody. So that's the first mistake, right? Don't just hire anybody. Spend the time to find someone that is a good fit for you and your business. Not only do they have the skills or not have the skills if you're going to train them, but they have the right attitude. And also they have the same values that you do.
Yeah.
Taking the time to develop the values and the mission for your own business, that's critical because once you have those values, you hire and fire based on your values. You bring people into your business that have similar and supportive values of yours so that you don't have to make all the decisions because they know that the values help them to make decisions. And they automatically do the things that you would do. If you've got someone whose values are very different from yours, it's never going to be a comfortable situation. So taking the time to figure that out for yourself. And then your mission helps to motivate people towards the outcome that you want. And if it motivates them, then that's great. And if it doesn't, they're not a good fit for your business. So spending a little time on that. And then during the interview process, you identify what are their values and what excites them. When you're looking for a fit for the business, you're not necessarily looking for someone who can do all the tasks right away. If you
Yeah.
want someone to do all the tasks right away, you should just hire an outside service to do it most of the time because they're professionals and you are now their client, so they're going to work hard to get it right for you. So, but if you're going to hire somebody in the business, make sure it's a good fit.
That's that's a good advice. That's really important. And I would also add in, Lynn, and let me know what you feel about this, is that you need to treat your staff that you're hiring, even if they are like a consultant to you, just like a client. You need to have that same kind of communication style, same kind of uh, grace and consideration you would give, because we're dealing with humans. Everyone's having so many challenges in their lives, and everyone's trying to do their very best. So give them the same level of grace and consideration you would with a client, and then take it from there. What do you think about that?
I think as the leader of the business, you have to lead. And by that, I mean, you have to set the direction. So, and you have to make it very clear what the other people are responsible for. And then you have to give them the responsibility and let them take it, not
Yeah.
not micromanage them. But the other thing is that you're now, once they've got their responsibility, now it's your responsibility to support them in any way that they need so that they can be extremely successful, right? So that looks like all kinds of different things, but it's a lot of communication.
A lot of, yes, that's the key
Yeah.
thing. Totally agree with that. That's the key thing. Let's talk about AI. In today's, I've talked to so many women, and there's so many mixed feelings about it. Some people are really gung ho. Some people are scared of it. Some people don't like it at all. What are your thoughts about an AI, and are you leveraging AI in your business?
So I think it's critical that we leverage AI, all of us, because we're going to fall behind if we don't. It's so fast moving um, that if you say I'm not going to touch it, I'm not going to do anything with it, I'm not going to try it, you will be behind. Um, I think it's amazing in how it can uh, do work that would take you hours to do. It can do it in, a few seconds. But you also have to be very careful because AI does not think the way humans think. So, yes, it can do a lot of the work and fact check everything it does because it doesn't always, it sometimes makes things up, literally makes things up. It doesn't always draw on actual facts. So you do need to fact check it. So how do I use it? Um, I use it for a lot of writing. When I'm looking for, when I have to write something and I want to get a way to get it started, I'll ask an AI chat GPT or one of those to write it for me. And then here's the trick though. I give them something I've written and I ask it to use the same style, to write a new piece in the same style. So that means it ends up being a lot more like what you would say. And then I read it and I ask it to revise it again. Usually I'll take something out, I'll say make it simpler, or I'll put in an example or whatever, right? And then I ask it to edit it a third time, another way that I've, asked it to make something simpler or make it more detailed or something. And then I take what it's written and I edit it for the final piece. But all of that process used to take me 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours. I can now do it in half an hour because it can write so much faster than I can in the initial part of it. So it's really, really useful for that. And it's getting better and better and used more and more in all kinds of programs now. So I really believe you have to be careful, but if you're not leveraging AI, you're going to fall behind. That's what I believe.
I'm really glad you said that. I feel the same thing. It's here. It's here to stay, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So we might as well embrace it. As early adopters, it's always so much better than later. At least you won't be left behind.
Right.
Leverage it in the way that you find it to be comfortable. And using for writing is amazing. And Lynn, thank you for sharing that because I use it the same way too. And it's important to make it sound conversational, make it sound like you. You need to read it over and over again
Yeah.
and train it to sound like you in the way you would want it. It certainly is a
Exactly.
lifesaver. And it's so important to, again, like you said, edit it again and make it sound like you. Those who are using AI, we can really tell from their favorite words that they use all the time that it is AI related. So you want to be able to change it in, I guess, one word that summarizes would be to humanize it.
Hmm. You do have to be careful. AI will put together a sentence, and if you read it carefully, it will make no sense whatsoever.
Yes.
They've just put some words together. Um, but usually you can take some of those words out and put some different words in, and then it makes sense, right? So for me, it's a really great tool for getting all the writing done more quickly. But I've used it for other things. I've used it to analyze data. It does a really nice job of analyzing data if you put the right kinds of things in there to begin with. So yeah, it's here to stay, and we all need to embrace it and just use it as best we can because it's a huge time saver. It really is.
Yeah, and it's a great step for if you're not at a position to hire external staff where you can delegate. It's a great way to get started. At least you'll buy back some time that way.
Yep. Honestly, systems in general are another way to buy back time. Just
Yes.
all kinds of systems, AI being just one. And that's important to buy back time. But I like to have my clients focus on let's get the business set up so that I can take a 1 month vacation and my business will still be fine when I get back. And I've had a number of clients do that. And the key is to get the team built, set up so
Yes.
that they're running the business when you're not there.
And how can it get better than that, right? And that's the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate goal to have your business running while you're away, whether you're traveling for business, traveling for pleasure, or maybe both, and spending time with your family. That is why we've traded in our 9 to 5 jobs so we can create the life that we want, a life by your design. So, you know,
It's
hiring
also
other
critical.
people.
I was going to
Yes,
say it's also critical in case something happens.
yes.
If you get sick, if you end up in the hospital or a family member is sick, the business can continue again without you. I had a client who she had a really successful business and she then had a very contentious divorce
Hmm.
and it made it so that she really couldn't work for a while. And was no problem because she had such a great team. The team kept the business going and I helped keep them focused in the right area. I didn't know how to run the business, but I
Hmm.
kept them focused on the right things and they ran the business. It was amazing. It was amazing. She came back to a very strong company.
That's amazing. And that's what such a wonderful thing to hear because your business is your vehicle to the things that you want to do.
It
And one
is.
is freedom, whatever freedom means to you. And one is like a safety, also like you were just sharing about your friend to have that. And it's possible. You just need to start early, set up systems, set up, know your why, and connect with Lynn so she can help you set yourself up where you're living the life you want while you're running your business. Lynn, I understand you have an amazing gift for everyone.
I do. And I'm blanking on what it was. I think it was 5 keys to success. Um, so it's 5 keys to be an entrepreneur and grow your business.
Okay, and
And if you do click on that, you'll get your 5 keys to success. And actually, I threw in five more because I felt like there were really 10. There's 5 key ones, but there were really 10 that were very valuable. And then for those of you who are really serious about growing your business, I will get on a call with you, business acceleration call with you, and we'll map out the next steps you need to take to really grow your business. Um, oh, okay. I'm seeing it's the Business Growth Accelerator Assessment. Sorry, guys. Well, that's even better because the Business Growth Accelerator Assessment it helps you decide where you need to actually work on your business first. So, is it um, leading the business itself? Is it leading your team or is it leading yourself? And it helps you figure that out. And again, I will do a Business Growth Accelerator call with you. It's normally $297. That's what I charge for it. And I'm happy to do that for anyone who is on this call with SEMA for free.
that is such an exceptional gift. Thank you so much, Lynn. Do take up on Lynn's offer because you're going to get amazing insights from her. And if you can set yourself up the right way now, growing your business is going to be so much easier for you, so much more enjoyable, and you'll save the frustration and the hard times. So if you can do that, why not? The whole point of doing business is to create the life you want.
Yes,
And
exactly.
let's do that by setting it up properly.
So something to remember is what got you to six figures will actually keep you at six figures. You can't grow without changing the way that you think, without now thinking like a CEO and
Yeah.
bringing on the team and bringing in systems so you're not doing everything yourself.
I love that. Yes, what got you here won't get you there.
Well, that's
Definitely.
right. It'll keep you here. What got you there will keep you here. You'll often hear it the other way around. What got you here won't get you there, but it'll actually keep you where
Keep
you
you
are
there.
instead of allowing you to grow.
So that's not too bad. At least you'll stay there, but you definitely want to grow. So that's a no for you.
I don't
You
know if
want
you
to
want to stay
grow.
there. If you're going crazy and your family doesn't love you anymore because they never see you, that's
Yes,
not so good to stay there.
exactly. Exactly. The idea is to grow. Thank you so much, Lynn. It was a pleasure talking with you today. And
Thank you
make
so
sure
much for
everyone you
having me.
connect with her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, up next is our next amazing speaker, and that's Alexis Caldicott. And from her, we are going to learn about our messaging. Just give us a second to switch over. Okay. Okay, I guess she is on her way. So, yeah, I would love for you to type in the chat. What are some key takeaways that you have had from our session today with Lynne? And you can ask questions also in the Q&A. So, Lynne, there's a question for you. It says, would Lynne be comfortable sharing the story she told today about how she grew her business while helping care for her daughter, who's now about to graduate from college? I'd love to interview her about that if she's open to it. Okay.
Cheryl, I'd be happy to talk with you. You can, if you click on the link for my assessment, there's a way to connect with me there. That's probably the best way to do it. But I would be happy to talk to you about it.
Lynne, if there was one thing that you could share with the women here, or those who are also going to be watching on the replay, what would that be?
You know, it's interesting. When I talk with business owners, it's rare that they think about this. But the average person spends about 15 hours planning for a 1-week vacation. And it's very rare that I find a business owner who has spent even half that time planning for the growth of their business that's going to pay for that vacation. So really having that strategic plan, knowing what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, what's next, and not trying to do too many things all at once, that's the key to growing your business.
Strategic plan. Wonderful. Yes, let's create our strategic plan so then we can get to where we want to be and be able to take that time off. You know, now that you bring that up, I've been traveling and been traveling for business, and when I travel, I just automatically feel like I'm on vacation, even though it might be working. I don't think I've really taken a vacation.
It's wonderful to combine the two, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's
But
very special.
yeah, but I don't think in the full sense of taking a vacation. But I guess it feels that way because I love what I do.
It's true. And yet we all need some time off. We do all need some time off. So plan for that too.
Yes.
Plan for that.
It's really important. I think many of us feel, as women, as how I've been raised, you feel guilty resting, but resting is really important. Resting is what's going to keep you moving. You're not slowing down by resting. You're slowing down by not resting.
You know, it's not only that, but when you rest, your brain actually becomes more creative and it solves problems while you're resting. So you actually can become much more productive by taking some time off.
Very good advice. Thank you so much, Lynne.
You're
I
welcome.
really
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
having
time
me.
with us today. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Break Free to Brilliance podcast. And I hope you had some key takeaways that you can implement right away. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below. We'll see you again for the next episode.